Welcome back to the Power of Perspective, the talk show. I am Shawn, and this is
BJ Tench.
Yes, and we are so appreciative as always of you sharing your time with us. For those of you who are coming back, we appreciate you greatly. Great thanks for the feedback that you all gave us for our last show. And for those of you who might be new viewers, welcome. We really hope that we have another great one for you. And as always, you know, I guess as the case was last time, I'm just going to hand it over to BJ because he has another great topic for us to discuss. And as always, I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have a weight problem? I don't mean tipping the scale. I don't mean flubber. I don't mean someone that's out of shape in figure or mentally, but I am actually talking mentally. I mean weight, the four-letter word, W-A-I-T. Do you struggle with patience? Are you waiting for that special someone to overcome fear? Are you waiting for that special someone to finally let you talk in an argument or debate? Are you struggling with waiting for your best friend to finally grow up? Too much of the joysticks with the Madden or the Call of Duty? Are you waiting for that special one to actually respect you as the alpha male? Or if you're struggling in the other side of the relationship, him to look at you as a woman? Kids, young men, are you waiting for your mother to finally let you be the man that you desire to be? Or are you still stuck? Is she still stuck waiting for you to progress and to go forward? I think whether we're talking in the workforce, which we could be waiting to get that great promotion, or we're talking in our own personal lives, or if we're just talking about waiting on whatever spiritual entity you might be fighting. You might be waiting on a spiritual answer, or you might be waiting on, as some say, I'm waiting on God to bless me. But we're all in that shape and form called waiting.
Yes.
So that's my question to our viewers today. Do you have a weight problem? I assume that the majority of our viewers have some type of weight problem. And if they don't, you know, God bless them. But for those who are watching that do have a weight problem, I believe that today, this show will help you.
BJ, whenever you have presented this topic to me, it caused me to immediately go into human development, right? Because I'm going to speak from a clinical standpoint for a minute, from a psychological standpoint. And for those of us who struggle with waiting for things and patience, as we're talking about, I think everybody struggles with patience at some part in their life because we are human. And then at some point, we all experience different problems, no matter how long it may stay. If it's a long problem or if it's transient. And when I think of like patience, right, especially with adults, I like to regress back to being a baby, right? Because babies probably are the only sector of human existence where they don't have the consciousness to be able to understand what patience is, because their needs are so high, right? They have such significant needs that we have to be patient with them and not vice versa. And I think a problem with patience as it trickles into adulthood is just that. A lack of patience trickles into adulthood because you're a baby, you know, you're impatient, then you become a toddler, an adolescent, a teenager, a young adult, you know, middle-aged, old adult. And unlike some of the lessons that we learn or supposed to learn in kindergarten, like sharing, everybody learns how to share. But I don't think that patience is something that is taught on that cliche level like sharing is. So imagine you being a toddler and you're not really getting taught patience, or you're not really learning the power of patience. On your walk of human development, you're carrying that problem with you. I have a weight problem. I have a problem with patience. So I'm just saying that I do think that the inception of people struggling with patience can regress back to their childhood, whenever they were impatient kids, impulsive kids, whenever they were, you know, adolescents and teens. I think that we have to acknowledge that where did this start at? You know, where could it have started? Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, because I know from being a young adult, even back to as far as I can remember, the daycare days.
Right, exactly.
You said that a lot of people don't teach patience. Well, that's probably because, to be honest with you, patience isn't fun.
No, it's not.
Let's be honest.
No, it's not.
Whether you're talking about, again, as I was talking in the very beginning, you're talking about waiting on promotion. Patience and waiting, which go hand in hand, can lead to irrational thoughts. So if you're talking on the baby stages, we were all kids anticipating to get to play with that toy. While Susie or Mary or Bobby's playing with it, you may think that they're going to break it or going to take it home with them. Irrational thoughts. And then you get into the junior high stage, you know what? We're waiting to see if we made the team, whether it's a debate team, basketball team, swim team, cross country, etc.
Yes.
The thought of, what if they didn't like the way I performed?
Yeah.
What if they don't like me? What if there's some type of politics? So my question is to the viewers, when they're struggling with this waiting problem or this weight problem, what are you doing while you're waiting? Sure, you may be worried in the early stages, because there are children who are watching this segment today.
Yeah.
If you're struggling while you're waiting to see if you made the team, are you still practicing? Regardless if you made it or not, you still have to work on your craft.
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm actually progressing too much into the show, Shawn.
No.
Because I think our viewers, I want to get straight to the meat and potatoes.
Right.
What are you doing while you're waiting?
Right.
That's where the irrational thoughts come from.
Man, what are you doing while you're waiting? Now, I think too with that, are you even waiting? Are you even waiting? Because, you know, some people, like you said, you get irrational thoughts, you become impulsive. But let's go to your point first, right? If you are waiting, you know, if you are waiting on to see you made the sports team, if you are waiting to see if X, Y, and Z will happen, you know, that's a period of time where, like you said, you do need to be doing some serious and significant work. I know that we call it scoreboard watching, right? You know, I know that a lot of speakers that I talk to sometimes will say, you know, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I did this, I did that, but this still didn't happen. You scoreboard watching. You ain't supposed to watch the scoreboard. You know what I mean? Like, now, I don't know too many great athletes. Now, you might have, I forgot the guy's name, but he was, who's the one basketball player that looked like Young Buck? He was from, like, maybe the old...
Ricky Davis.
Ricky Davis. I remember Ricky Davis, man. I think that he was about to have, like, his team was losing, but he was about to have, like, a triple-double. So he kept scoreboard watching. I'm like, that's very selfish. I don't think that you could really bring out your brilliance and become great if you're scoreboard watching. So as BJ is saying, while you are waiting, it is very important for you to almost lose consciousness with any end result. Sometimes you have to let go of the end result and don't even care about the end result and just get caught up in the work. Get caught up in your passion. Get caught up in that, and then the time will come. Because again, to your same point, in counseling, I do see a lot of people who are coming to counseling who have issues, like some of their pathology is based out of their ability to not let go of what they can't control. A lot of people become very depressed, very stressed, very anxious, even suicidal and homicidal because they can't control things. And they're trying to control things that are not controllable. Your thoughts, your emotions. So I just wanted to say that in the sense that, like, what you said about waiting caused me to think about some of the pathology side of things.
Yeah, especially, and you know what, we need to, you know, we're talking to the children, but we're also talking to the adults. Whether you're dating, whether you're in marriage, whether you're coming out of a relationship or about to go into a strong marriage, you're going to have to deal with waiting at one point in time. Do you agree, Shawn?
Absolutely.
So while you're waiting for that person, and it doesn't always have to be negative, because I don't want our viewers to get things mixed up thinking that we're only concentrating on the negative. The whole point of waiting is you can only control what you can control.
Exactly.
The outcome could be positive, the outcome could be negative.
Yes.
But the whole point is, what are you doing? If you're waiting on that person, let's say, to get rid of an abuse, whether it's drug abuse, some type of physical abuse, emotional abuse, let's just say that person is not going to recover or come out of that state of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you working on yourself to bounce back from the possibility of losing that person? Are you working on yourself to prepare yourself maybe for the next person down the line? I'm not trying to promote a new relationship, but the whole point is you're constantly pursuing, you're constantly looking down the road, not trying to encourage a breakup. But if you don't work on yourself, you're good to nobody.
Right.
Period.
Right. Well, with that said, let's take a quick break. And I'm looking forward to coming back and BJ navigating through this with us for the rest of the show. And stay tuned. We'll be right back. So welcome back to the Power of Perspective, the talk show. This is Shawn and BJ. During the break, actually, BJ actually was talking about LeBron James and just how how he was talking about his brilliance and his greatness, and about how sometimes LeBron James maybe should just lose consciousness with his conscious reality of basketball and just experience what I think Kobe Bryant would call flow. Sometimes whenever you get caught up in flow, magic can happen. And I think that's what I was talking about earlier whenever I said that sometimes you have to really lose any desire to control the end result. I would love to be a billionaire. You know what I mean? I would love to be a multimillionaire, billionaire. And I think on a road like that, you really have to sometimes just get caught up in the work and not get caught up in becoming that, because you can lose so much of what's happening in the now. Any thoughts about that, BJ?
Yeah, just because I'm sure our viewers want to know exactly what we were talking about during the break. He had brought up a few minutes ago about a certain player who had a chance to get a triple-double, but he was scoreboard watching. And I had said, metaphorically speaking, if a guy like LeBron James had a conscious level of a Russell Westbrook who averaged a triple-double, that meaning points, rebounds, and assists, he would have been crushed all the stats by averaging a triple-double just due to his physical stature and his God-gifted ability, rebounds, points, as well as assists, because he already has the natural gift of giving. And so the only attribute that he would have to add to his game would be the aggression. But that comes back to flow. There has to be some type of conscious level where he's telling himself, maybe I'm being too selfish here. Maybe I don't want to hurt anybody while I'm crashing the boards, or, for our viewers who don't understand what I'm saying, hurrying and anticipating to get the rebound.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, because I don't want to keep it too sports, when you're caught up in wanting to do better and caught up in your own greatness to want to achieve to a certain point, patience, time, waiting, all of that can become almost irrelevant.
Yes.
It's very necessary because you only live once. And sometimes when you even got that in your mind that this is only going to happen one time, you respect time. You respect you respect your loved ones, you respect your children, you respect their time. But when it comes to waiting, which I want to stay on that subject, when it comes to waiting, you constantly have to work on yourself. That's how I believe. I believe that's one of the pursuit of happiness. Constantly working on yourself. I didn't say worried about yourself. I didn't say like an egomaniac or someone that's self-centered. I mean working on yourself. When you're working on yourself, you're pretty much your biggest critic. So I'm not really sure if our viewers, disagree or agree on that. But that's just, again, we're encouraging. We're not trying to change you. We're trying to help you become better. Are you working on yourself while you're waiting?
Right. Well, BJ, I know that you caused me to think about something that Alan Watts has said. And he has said that when you rush things and you don't wait for them, you tend to do things in the wrong way. Right? So whenever you're rushing to do something, it typically gets done in the wrong way. And one of my favorite teachers, one of my more recent teachers that I have been studying a lot, Sri Gano Grills, he makes an incredible point that I already knew, but anybody who's conscious and very spiritual and soulful will understand that the spirit realm controls the physical realm.
Yes.
Right? Even think about your body. Your body would just be a piece of meat if it didn't have a spirit in it. And people don't understand that no matter how much you try to force things to happen, the spirit realm is in control. And people need to start to respect the way that the universe has a way of working things out naturally, outside of what humans want to happen. So I do think that, you should bring up a good point in the sense that one of the things that I always have to bring up in therapy and in some of the lectures that I give is that if you don't respect the process, then the process won't respect you.
And I couldn't agree with you more. And we can keep it as low level as possible, even though I don't always encourage that. I'll be very blunt. The old saying, you hope or pray for the best and prepare for the worst while you're waiting. So if you're waiting on that promotion, I love using examples, by the way. If you're waiting on that promotion, that raise, that new big desk, while you're waiting or you're anticipating to get that job, are you writing your business proposal depending on what profession you're in? Are you getting those sticky notes ready? Are you sharpening your pencils? Are you getting those coffee mugs ready? Whatever little thing, tick for tack, you need to do to prepare yourself for a change.
Right.
Or if you're preparing for the negative, which I never encourage, Are you ready to deal with the emotion of heartache? Are you ready to be told no? Is that something that you're ready to do? Are you ready to be told by that person, I like the way I am and I don't want to change? Are you ready to be told no, and are you ready to be denied? Are you ready to be pushed away? Those are all the things that you can work on yourself before you deal with that confrontation. That's all in the process of waiting.
Well, man, I was hoping that you actually would keep talking about that, but since you did give us a little break, let's pay the bills, and please stay tuned with The Power of Perspective, Shawn and BJ, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome back to The Power of Perspective, Season 2, Episode 3. Before we left on a break, Shawn and I were discussing the power of waiting. Do you have a weight problem? And I had told him back to his initial opening when he was talking in this segment about children. You know, when you're playing with toys, that should be something that we teach our children, both in the school setting, the home setting, or whatever setting you're in when it comes to sharing. Are you teaching patience? Well, that is very symbolic in our own adult lives. You know, I'm not a dinosaur, so I was born in the late 80s, and you know, that wasn't something that was taught with us, but I think about how that correlates to when you are a child. You had mentioned that when someone's playing with toys, and then I kind of countered that by saying, you know, you're worried about if that child, when you're a little kid, you're worried about if that child's going to take your toy, if he's going to break your toy, if he's going to give it to someone else and you're never going to have it back. You're only worried about me.
Right.
Well, in our adult lives, when we give someone our affection, when we give someone our heart, when we give someone our money, when we give someone any of those things that you can plug in my sentence, we're worried about, well, what are they going to give me back? What are they going to do in the meantime? Is this a I owe you? Is this a, you know, I'll see you later on? Is this a person that's never going to repay that debt? In the meantime, guess what you're supposed to be working on? Yourself. Because that person that you might have loaned that $100, yeah, you got to eat that. But guess what? That person may never ask you for another thing, and you may have got rid of that own personal debt the rest of your life.
You know, as a character development coach, which you are, and I don't think I know any character development coach better than you, and I honestly mean that.
Thank you, Shawn.
No problem. But as a character development coach, and you bringing that up, it also causes me to think that it provides you an opportunity, right? So if you give somebody $100, $200, whatever, or if you give somebody a toy or whatever, and you're thinking, well, what am I going to get back in return? Again, sometimes you have to lose any consciousness with what you think the outcome should be, and in the interim, you can work on your character. What if you don't get it back? How will you respond to that? Because in life, people don't understand that the power of life really lies in how you respond to things, not necessarily what is done to you. So I've been in situations, and some even recently, where I've loaned things out. You know, I tend to only loan things out whenever I can afford to lose them, just to, you know, see who I'm working with, right? But there's been some times whenever I've loaned things out, thinking that I'm going to get it back, and I have got very angry about not getting it back. However, that provides an opportunity for maybe me to respond different at age 31 than I might have at age 21. You see what I'm saying? And also, you know, you bring up another point in the sense that, you know, just talking about weight problems in general, I think before we had took our last break, I immediately went to thinking, man, and this is not just for any Christians or anything like that, but since Jesus is a very powerful image to a lot of people, and since Jesus is one of the most recognized images, religious images in the Western world, people will wait for Jesus for 8 lifetimes, but can't wait on the process of becoming successful. So sometimes people will wait for things that they shouldn't wait for. Not saying that you shouldn't wait around for Jesus, but symbolically, I think that people can wait for things that maybe, you know, might not ever come, and they won't wait for things that they should wait for.
Because I think a lot of people, this comes back to their character. Sometimes it's a feel-good moment, and I'm definitely not coming at the Christian aspect or the Western philosophy, because this is something that I grew up on. But that is a character flaw of some people. They may say one thing out of their mouths, and then practice something else.
Exactly.
They don't necessarily practice what they preach.
Exactly.
But the whole point is, you brought up a good point, Shawn. You can wait for something like that. Let's just say that particular. But when it comes to something that is visible, something that you have actual fact on, you're not anticipating anything. You're just, again, sitting back and sitting on irrational thoughts, and you're only thinking of the negative.
Right.
So metaphorically speaking, you know, back to weight, whether we're talking weight or now I'm coming back to the own physical process of waiting, or having a weight problem, excuse me. If you're not burning up calories, and I'm going to come back to the weight, the W-A-I-T portion. If you're not burning up calories, then you're going to sit around and get fat, metaphorically speaking. Well, if you look at it in this way, if you're sitting around waiting, then you're going to mess around and be filled up with just negative thoughts. You're going to be bloated with just a whole bunch of negativity, thinking about what you could do better. Well, why sit around and think about what you could do and just not go do it?
Right. Man. Well, you know, BJ, I'm going to end on a couple thoughts, and I definitely want to know what you have left to offer the people. Two things that I wanted to just bring up in this conversation is that, and also thank you again, BJ, for bringing up such an incredible topic that I don't think that I would have even thought about. But in terms of having a weight problem, when you look at the Earth, right, you know, even a peninsula, you know, it takes sometimes like 1 year for it to even move 2 inches, right? So if the Earth moves in such a slow process sometimes for even a great thing like that to happen, why would some of us humans expect for immaculate things to happen in 2 seconds? And also, patience is such a powerful thing, because if you have true patience, you can actually overcome obstacles that you thought were very daunting, right? Think about the Buster Douglas fight, right? With Tyson. Yeah. Now, of course, he has some unfortunate issues in his life where, like, he just had an effort mentality where people, I think he lost his mom and his sister, you know, so he really didn't care. But he waited out for Tyson to tire, right? So when you have patience with some of your goals, no matter how big they are, you can actually overcome them. When you have patience with maybe some people that you may be intimidated by, you can actually overcome an opponent who is daunting when you have the ability to wait for things to, maybe for the smoke to clear, and you realize that, wow, I can outlast this person. And that's where I think that people don't get some of the power in regards to, like, waiting to see that patience will hit a point where it'll allow you to start flying.
And I want to leave on this note, you know, metaphorically speaking, weight, having a weight problem. The professionals in the physical health field say that you should work out roughly about 10 to 15 minutes a day. And you're supposed to, you know, eat at a good pace where you eat a couple small meals a day to burn calories. Well, my input off today was, you know, you should think right and practice waiting 10 minutes a day. Whether it's something small as waiting for that significant other to text you.
I like that.
Whether it's something as small as, you know what, I have a big exam tomorrow, and let me just see that, you know, I have everything I need. I have all my documents. I have all my, you know, I'm not really a young guy anymore. I have my J drive. I have everything lined up. Think about what you can do on a day-to-day basis. It's practice. Everything is in preparation. And yes, it's in moderation. So start off with maybe 3 minutes. Practice waiting. Waiting for whatever. As Shawn said earlier, it could be Jesus. It could be something as big as, you know what, I'm waiting for someone to call from the state penitentiary. Practice waiting. It's supposed to be an action. Waiting is an action.
Yes.
So that's how I want to leave.
Man. Well, that's an incredible note to end on. Waiting, and that's an incredible technique and recommendation. I'm gonna start doing that. Used to do it in the past. And also, you know, just, you know, don't misinterpret that somebody's patience declining for you is their love for you declining. All right. So again, I want to say that one more time. Don't misinterpret that somebody's patience for you declining as their love for you declining. This has been another great show. I appreciate BJ for bringing us another incredible topic. Please do us a favor and like this video, share it, subscribe to our channel, and definitely please comment and give us your thoughts, because we don't really just want to offer you our thoughts. We really would like to hear some of what you have. And if you have any questions or recommendations for us in terms of topics that you might want us to talk about, please send us an email. You can reach me at PerspectVeLLC@yahoo.com. You can reach me at PerspectVeLLC PerspectveLLC@yahoo.com, and you can also reach me at 412-592-2291.
So you got the fans waiting, man.
Right.
You can reach me. You can reach me on my email at BernardTenchiii@yahoo.com. My name is BJ Tench. I'm the character development coach under Perspective. My cell phone number is 412-874-5205. Questions, comments, or concerns, even critiques, I'm here for you.
Yes, yes.
You have a blessed day.
Peace.